what does the connected car look like today? So we've got some manufacturers that have 4G LTE, so certainly the vehicle itself is its own hotspot and can communicate data much more quickly than it did before. There's, as someone was saying on the video, remote diagnostics, telling my dealer when I need an oil change or if there's something wrong with my vehicle. So those are common today, and that's gaining steam very quickly. As you saw earlier, about 10 years from now, we're looking at about 80% of the market will be somewhat connected. This is more than just offering increased safety or increased efficiency to the network. It's really more and more about opening up and maybe being much more positive to the general environment and to people within it.
In the past few years, there were a lot of improvement in technologies, anywhere from sensors to mapping, to guidance, to artificial intelligence, to software architectures, of course cloud computing, as was mentioned. All of these are really very important seeds toward autonomy.
But when we get there, and we're rapidly getting there, these new models are coming out with lots of data. There's a whole new world available, not just to the insurance companies, but to the automotive manufacturer, where they can have deep insight not only to how the vehicle is operating, but also give them an opportunity to really push valuable insights and information back to their clients.
Where this will go in the future is beyond just the dongle. When you have an embedded telematics control unit, now you have the ability to look at all of the data that's coming out of the vehicle. So rather than just saying, well, I've determined that this person is a hard accelerator, a hard braker, and they seem to do a lot of driving between 2 and 4 a.m. That puts them in a very high risk category. You can now look at, well, if an accident occurs, what exactly was going on in the car at the time the accident occurred? Were they drifting in and out of lanes? Was there heavy braking before the accident, or was no brake applied? And I think that's really going to affect the way that our insurance industry interacts with the consumers from a rate perspective and also from a consumer retention perspective, creating a new form of a relationship between the insurance company and the consumer. As a lifetime Detroiter and automotive guy, I think it's going to be a much deeper relationship between the suppliers and the automotive OEMs. And I think Hitachi is uniquely positioned there, looking at the fact that Hitachi Metals makes material for brake pads, which go into our suspension system, which is intelligently controlled to our telematics unit, which goes to our big data cloud, which we can analyze with our analytics capabilities. I mean, we really, from an automotive intelligence connected car perspective, Hitachi's in a unique position to cover from soup to nuts.
Nobody operates in the automotive industry the way Hitachi does. And we are, I would say, unique in the industry, not just because we're in lots of different things, but because we make the systems, we integrate the systems, we understand how those things all operate. So we're a very unique partner in that sense, but we're not an exclusive partner. We get that. We get that we have to work with other players in the industry.
We look at the autonomous environment in basically 3 different areas. Number 1 is a self-contained car. We've got cameras, we've got sensors. We can make decisions about what's going on around us, but that gets us about 5 seconds forward in time to what's going to happen. Moving from 5 seconds to maybe 10 or 20 seconds, we really need to look at connection with the infrastructure, and whether it's DSRC or some other communication mechanism that we'll use, that needs to be in place, and it's not in place now. And that will get us to, as I said, the 10 to 20 second window. But then beyond 20 seconds, we have to look at the connection to the cloud and looking at what's happening on a broader scale, what's happening related to weather, freeze warnings, for example. And so I think all of that will be in place by 2035. And so it's going to be a very different driving environment because you're going to have a vehicle that's very self-aware, not only of what's happening to itself, but to its environment. And that's going to change the entire relationship between drivers and vehicles and the environment.